when I was stationed. My first assignment after initial formation was in Leonia, New Jersey. And I used to oftentimes walk around when I would preach a homily. It was common for me to walk around. And I don't think anybody objected to it. It was a common thing. Priests and deacons normally walk around when they're preaching. But there were 3 women in the parish who, every Mass, would just sit there and say the rosary all through the Mass. And that's what they would do. They would just, quietly, didn't disturb anybody. They came to daily Mass, so they were in church 7 days a week. But they never paid attention to the Mass. They said the rosary all through the Mass. But all of a sudden, here comes this new priest, Father Gregory, who's walking around the congregation. And they came to me and said, "We don't like when you're walking around, because you disturb the rosary. We lose our concentration. Could you stay in the pulpit where you belong?" And so it was, stay in the pulpit where you belong. And so, but no, I think you want to engage the congregation. You want to engage, the people. You want to, especially when there's children's Masses. Oftentimes the grade school, there's a grade school attached. The kids are there. I'm not going to stay in the pulpit when I'm surrounded by children. But they got angry. And so, because every time I'd step out of the pulpit, they would all stand up. And they would go to the Virgin statue and kneel down and start saying the rosary out loud, real loud, to push me back in the pulpit, to teach me if I'm going to preach, I better stay in the pulpit, otherwise they're going to be too noisy and no one's going to pay attention to the homily. And so, but it really backfired on them because everyone would say, "What's wrong with those women? Are they all mentally challenged or something?" But they didn't just go after me, because Father Ronald would oftentimes shorten the Mass when the air conditioner went out. When the air conditioner, it was an old church, old air conditioner. If the air conditioner failed, it would get hot in there. Didn't have good windows. So whenever the air conditioner would stop, he would drop the Gloria and drop the Creed, because it's hot in there. But that would break their timing, because they knew how many rosaries they could get done in one Mass. And if you skip the Gloria and you skip the Creed, all of a sudden, they're still saying the rosary and Mass is done. So they got mad at Father Ronald. And they were bound and determined to report him to the bishop for skipping the Gloria and the Creed. The bishop couldn't care less. If it's hot in there and the air conditioner is broken, you have my blessing. And they wanted to get rid of me because I was preaching from the floor. We were their cause. They put all their effort into getting rid of Father Ronald and getting rid of Father Gregory. Put all their effort, even started a petition drive to get rid of us. Over such small things. Such small things. But I think if you looked into their lives, they were very unhappy. Very unhappy women. Maybe bad marriages, kids who had written them off and had now no longer had any contact with them, etc., etc. And instead of looking at their lives and trying to put their lives and how they deal with spouses and kids and neighbor in order, they put all their energy into religion. And I think we oftentimes see that. Put all our energy into religion and make that the drain for our negative energy. And so I think these readings today, with armies encamped around Jerusalem in the first reading, and armies encamped around Jerusalem in the gospel, we see all this negativity, and we think, yes, go after them. Go after them. Clean up the religion, God. Clean this all up. Make it all right. Make it like I think it should be. But no. I think the real task of religion is to ignore these kinds of readings. The real task of religion is to look inward, to work on the inner self, to take these readings, and the army against Jerusalem is you against yourself. Instead of working out what can bring you to peace, or to wholeness, or to love, or to patience, or to generosity, or to forgiveness, we exteriorize all that and make that our cause, our war, our effort. There's a quotation I like from John of the Cross that I think fits these readings well. If the whole world should crumble and come to an end, and all things go wrong, endure all with tranquility and peaceful equanimity. This is the task of religion. Not to go after neighbor, not to go after each other, not to clean up the world, not to clean up the church. To live in peace, to live in equanimity, to find, as St. Paul would say, a peace that surpasses all understanding. This is truly the religious person.